try to get this started. Everybody, thanks for being here. Thanks for making time for us. And pretty small group. I'm going to keep it pretty informal. So don't feel like you need to wait for me to get to the end. If you got a question or comment or concern during the course of the slideshow, just raise your hand or holler at me. We'll give you time right away rather than making everyone wait until the end. There we go, the introductions. Andrew Bishop, that's me. I work for this City of Holland. I'm senior design engineer. Aaron Neatling is right there. He's the guy who did 99% of the design. So if there's any design questions that I don't know, I'll probably defer to him. Skippers doesn't have anyone here. They are the general contractor, though. Click again. This is kind of roughly what I laid out, but again, this isn't all set in stone. If we go in a different direction a little bit, that's fine too. The project limits, we're going to go through what is now proposed to be done. We'll go through a little bit of the design details, touch on snow melt a little bit, not as much as we did in the earlier meetings, but we are still including it, at least in part. And then we'll go through just a basic project schedule. So as far as you guys, you're both business owners on the route and you're residential? Okay. And were you at the first meeting or two? Okay, I thought you looked familiar. Thanks for coming again. Okay, and who got a postcard from us here in the past week? All three of you. Great. Okay. Project limits. It's pretty much the same as what we've been talking about from the start. You'll see now the 17th, 18th, and 19th. Those are dashed because we did think we had a commitment from the BPW to do water main on those streets, and we were going to do a lot of work on those three dead ends. That's now proven to not be the case. The BPW, after letting, they looked at the costs and their budget and decided they couldn't do it. So they kind of pulled the rug out from under us as far as the design goes. We now have a significant number of proposed storm sewers that are going through the existing water main. So we will have to address those in the field and kind of field adjust as we go down the project. But as far as official participation, the BPW is out, so that's why you see those as dotted. Project details, these really haven't changed a whole lot since our last meeting in May either. The overall roadways widened, but the travel lanes are now proposed to be 10 feet. Again, Aaron, if I'm getting any of this wrong, just jump right in, don't be afraid. We still have the bike lanes. The sidewalks are 6 feet wide minimum. They're larger at Hope College and Black River School. And trees, we'll have some trees removed. I believe Hope is transplanting some trees, and we also at the back end will be planting some. I don't think that plan's been determined yet exactly. Probably the biggest improvement besides the roadway is the storm sewer, and we do have some extra features at the schools that were included to address their specific needs, including parking on both sides of the street at Black River and a bus turnout on the west side at Hope College. Anything else I'm missing on those? Yeah, that's at the old 12th Street? 11, 12, and 21st. Okay. Raised crosswalks. And we talked about the water main being excluded for the most part. Come on. So that's our existing cross section. You'll see it's pretty standard section with a crown in the middle. And the, the back-to-back dimension, for the most part, is 31 feet. And now, going to the proposed. You can see the back-to-back dimensions now gone from 31 feet wide to 40 feet wide. So it's going to be significantly wider. And you'll see there's bike lanes on both sides, and then the parking now on the east side, which goes pretty much for the length of the project. And now I'm gonna do kind of an overview of the design, starting at the south end, going to the north. So this is coming off 24th on the left, and then going along the west side of the apartments, turning to the west, and then you'll see there's still parking on the east side. We're going to do some improvements there at the elbow, where the northbound traffic turns from north to west. And then here we are from, well, this is 22nd going east to west. As you can see, we're going not just to Columbia, but we're also going all the way to Prospect, so another block essentially to the west. That didn't do it. There we go. And this is from 22nd to 20th, which the Black River School is there at the southeast corner of 20th in Columbia. You'll see at the dead end there at 21st, we're also taking out some pavement, which was problematic for parking. It was pavement right in front of a school, but you're not supposed to park on it. So you can imagine how well that went over. So we're actually taking out that pavement there at the end of 21st. And again, you'll see from 21st to 20th, we do now have parking on the east side, which, as I said, is pretty typical for the project, but we're also keeping the parking on the west side as it is now, more or less. Here's 19th to 17th. Again, we get pretty typical going through this part with parking on the east side. Nothing really special going on there that I can recall. And now we get into 16th Street. Obviously, there's already a light there at 16th, so that's largely unchanged. 15th and 14th will have the stop signs for the east and westbound traffic at Columbia. And here we are from 13th to 10th, which, yeah, as Aaron was saying, we get into the raised crosswalks there, and you'll also see the bus turnout there on the north. And you'll also note as we get into 10th was already recently improved, so we're stopping short of 10th. We won't be getting into 10th if we can help it. Water services, I don't expect these will be much of an issue because we're staying in the intersections where you're not going to have too many water services. If we do, though, we will replace those. But again, I'm hoping that we don't get far enough down the road that we get out of the intersections and those become an issue. If we do, though, if we get into galvanized services, the state dictates that we have to replace them all the way to the house, and we have to do that at our expense. So officially we will do that if we have to do it, but I don't expect we will. Storm and sump, just kind of going through what should be going where. Your sump should be taking taking the groundwater to the storm sewer. Also, your roof drains should be going to the storm sewer. The floor drains should be going to the sanitary sewer. If you're aware of any of those that are connected inappropriately, please let us know. Sprinkling systems, those I know those frequently go to the back of curb, and we're not only putting in all new curbs, we're also putting in new sidewalks. So there's going to be a significant amount of work that's going to be done on your sprinkler system if it's going all the way to the back of curb. So the best thing you could do for us is to let us know if you have one. Let us know where it is. Let us know as much as you know, if it's deep, if it's shallow, if it's in working condition. The more that you let us know ahead of time, the better we can plan for that. Snow melt, the transmission component is still included from 10th to 13th. There was some talk early on that there was some resident support to try to do distribution throughout this project. Feasibly, we couldn't include that. We are putting in all the infrastructure that we can, however, so that the planned loop down 13 to Central can be done in the future without tearing up what we're doing now. Future street cut prohibition, this is pretty standard. We just don't want to get done with the roadway and then have someone think, well, now's the perfect time for us to do such and such, that will cause them to cut into the asphalt that we've done. We hope that we'll have this new surface in place for years to come. And again, if there's anything that you have planned, that's another thing that's good to let us know. Obviously, it would have been better to know at the first neighborhood meeting or the second neighborhood meeting, but again, now is better than later. Expectations during construction. You can still expect trash pickup. However, if you are in the phase that's going to be closed off, there will be three different detours. So there's three phases. Each phase will be using Lincoln Avenue as your detour. So as the part of the project gets to be in front of your residence or business, if you normally roll your can out to Columbia in front of your residence or business, we're going to have to work with you to drag those outside the project area that's presently being worked on. It sounds like you guys are. Okay, you've probably got a dumpster. Oh, okay. Yeah, we can work with you on that. We're not going to drag that down the road. Yeah, okay. All right. And if some of your residents are talking about what they need to do, they really should put their address number on the trash cans, because we're going to drag them down the road, and then we're going to drag them back, and they're going to end up with one that's got a broken wheel, or somehow they think is not as good as the one they started with. So if they're going to be worried about that kind of thing, just some duct tape with the street number on it should be fine. The mail service should be able to get in and out every day. Sprinklers we talked about, tree removals. We're going to talk about those more on the next slide. And utility service interruptions, like I said, we are going to be doing some water main work is going to be unavoidable. We will the board will let them know within 24 hours, or minimum 24 hours if you're going to be shut off. The tree clearing, that's become more of an issue here lately. The state doesn't let us just cut trees down whenever we want to anymore. There was a time that was the case, but now they're worried more about environmentally, when the birds and bats and such are taking nest in these larger trees, so they don't want us to cut them down while something's living in them. So that's why that's kind of like phase 0, pretty much. We've got to have those tree removals for those that are 3-inch diameter trunk or larger. We're gonna have those done by April 11th. Then we roll into phase 1, which is the northern part from 10th to 16th. That'll be from right after tulip time to right before 4th of July. And then we jump from the north part all the way down to the south part. And that's gonna start right after 4th of July and go until the end of August. And then we'll do the mid part from 16th to 20th. That'll be from September 2nd to October 18th. Excuse me. And it sounds like all three guys got the postcard. If any of you have neighbors that would like one that didn't get one, obviously this is what it looks like, but we'll be happy to send them one, electronically or paper copy, whatever. So if you know anyone that wants one of these for their fridge, have them let us know. Now the next steps, I just talked about the postcards. I'm going to check with Rick here, our IT guy, to see if he's got any questions that I can respond to on the YouTube. And then we will have one-on-one time for your specific questions as it pertains to something in front of your business or your residence. Otherwise, I'd be willing to take any general questions at this time.
Rick says there's nothing.
Great. Okay.
So access to 19th Street, in our case, would probably come from college down 20th and then cross the construction zone on Columbia to get into our dead end, right?
I would think that'd probably be the easiest rather than trying to go a block down Columbia. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I parked at the corner right there in front of your business for about 5 minutes, and it didn't take me very long to make I wouldn't say an enemy, but not a friend of one of the bus drivers who was trying to turn from the southbound into there, and I was parked on the corner, and just cutting the radius there was too much for him to get his bus in. So I realized that's tough, but again, they might have to do the same thing where they come off of college, where they can just kind of bunny hop over Columbia. That's probably their best case, I would think. And then there'll be some time where we'll have to go through the intersection itself, but we'll do our best to work with you guys on that. Try to figure out when the best time is, when the worst time is, and do as best we can to get through it quick.
Any improvement going to be on the alley? It's to the north side of my building. It's halfway between the 18th and 19th.
I'm not aware of any work.
Done to that?
Just the approach to the alley? Yeah.
Just
Just the approach to the alley.
That hasn't been paved in years. I guess it's used quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Any other general questions, guys?
Go back to the schedule of the phases.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Again, there's going to be tree work going as we go phase by phase. There will be additional tree work. It's just the trees that are 3-inch or larger, we have to get onto now. We can't wait on those at all, or we're stuck with them until next year or something. It'd be a bad. Anyway, the best thing for us to do on those is to get on the larger tree removals now. No problem. Anything else?
Yeah, quick question. So I just want to make sure I understand fine and I have everything clear. So I have the understanding at the beginning that you will pavement everything on a 19 all the way by to the rail track, or to the rail track. So not anymore, that changed? or why having this, like misunderstanding right there? Because I remember at the beginning, and that's why I wanna clarify, did I misunderstand it? That you're gonna payment all the way on the 19, all the way back to the real track, or not, it wasn't the idea, or 19?
How much of that work did we take off?
So, during previous discussions, there was talk of doing work on those streets. That has completely been taken out of the contract.
Okay.
So there will be no water main, there'll be no storm sewer, there'll be no, as far as my understanding is, unless the city has another resurfacing contract as part of this project, there will be no work on 19th, 17th, or 18th beyond pretty much, I would say, within like 50 feet of the sidewalk. So we're gonna go far enough down to tie in our new road approach, and then everything beyond that will be the existing conditions.
Are there any project coming soon to the payment like 19? Because that, I mean, that's a few potholes there that we've been patching every year. And now with the snow and with snow removal, the 19th Street looks like it's a little rough, especially when you have been there.
Yeah, we could revisit that. It's kind of a recent development that the BPW kind of pulled the rug out from under us a little bit on 17th, 18th, and 19th. So we did have those plans in place, and I think part of the reason we might have waited for some of the improvements on those streets was because we were assuming it was going to be included in this, and then when it wasn't, I think we're kind of having to take a step back on 17th, 18th, and 19th at this time.
It's convenient for me that you don't do it now because the road will be
Yeah.
buildable and all that. But
Yeah.
on the other side, it will look.
Yeah.
You have a very nice main road, and then
Yeah.
the 19, the side road looks.
Yeah.
Kinda like a.
Yeah.
Holder, you know, like, so it's good and bad for me.
Yeah, I can understand.
It's convenient, but it's not good because presentation and the, I will say the assets of the building.
Yeah.
We need, Bill and I, we need trying to improve and make maintenance and.
Yeah.
And then we have the roads like, they don't match, you know?
Yeah, and we definitely appreciate all the
It'd be nice if that
investment.
was visited in the near future.
Yeah.
You know, next year's project
Yeah.
to expand out from Olympic.
Yeah, like I said, we're kind of regrouping at this point, but I'll pass that along that we should certainly consider prioritizing that.
I'm sorry, to interrupt. I get it, 18th Street is residence and pretty much not a lot of residence. But 19, quite a bit of difference. So
Yeah.
it will be, and I get it, you're working on all the schools and now.
Yeah.
Get it, but
Yeah,
yeah.
you'll see we, from the phases, we did do our best. We're doing our best to knock out Hope first, while all the students are gone. I mean, we still get the junior high and the high school kids that are all there for camps, so they might be worse to deal with than the college kids are. But, and then the other thing, that's part of the reason we're jumping to the end too, is to try to knock out as much of that work we can from 20th to 24th before Black River gets back. I think we're actually, by going to the end of August, I think there's a week of overlap there where Black River starts, I think, the week before we finish phase 2, or are scheduled to finish phase 2. But we're doing the best we can to work around those schools.
You see it being completed by October 18?
That's what the contract says.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Weather dependent, right?
Yep.
It's usually November 15th.
Yeah. The 15th is, between the 15th and Thanksgiving is usually when the asphalt plants close down. So if you're not all buttoned up by then, you're usually in bad trouble. So
This schedule is intentionally set up so that if there did occur delays, that hopefully it didn't get us to that November 15th date. So we kind of accelerated the construction just so that we had a little bit of buffer to still stay within the weather, because the last couple of years, it's been towards the end of October, we've started getting snow right around, you know, not last year, but the year before, we had snow on Holland. Last year, we were getting that rainy weather, so the desire was to target early in the month and leave a little bit of cushion if it does get a weather issue or something.
Large picture too, I think with BPW, what
Yeah.
they're trying to do is manage a lot of demands on the system within their budget and not increasing rates too much. So I think that's why they scaled back some of the
Yeah.
work.
Yep.
And then what we try to do for just resurfacing, we try to do a certain number of miles every year. And of course, every neighborhood wants that resurfacing done in their
Yeah.
neighborhood, right? So we're monitoring that and always trying to pick, you know, the stretches that are in the worst condition that we're doing just to resurface.
You should watch my,
We understand, we hear that a lot.
Yeah.
One thing that you can watch at the state level is if the House and Senate ever get on the same page and actually take a look at doing road funding, that would be really good because quite frankly, we have to supplement with general fund money into our road system in a way that really, that's never the intention, it shouldn't be. So if the
Yeah.
state finally gets some things fixed, then we'll have more money so that we can do more miles of roads each year.
Yeah, the road costs too have been going up
We
a
try to
lot.
try to make our budget go as far as possible every year,
Yeah.
and they do a great job.
Yeah,
figuring it out.
well, and it's been really tough, like, when we get to talking about stuff like the snow melt, well, any sort of extra is tough when you program these projects at a certain cost, and then instead of getting prices increasing 3 to 5%, they're increasing like 10% per year, and then by the time you're on the books, you know, 2-3 years in advance, by the time you add 10%, then another 10%, then another 10%, there's usually a shortfall, which gets us into a situation like Keith's talking about where, yeah, what used to be a $5 million project is now a $7 million project, just from the time we get the grant approved to actually getting the project going.
There is no snow melt in this project.
Just the transmission, so the mains, but there won't be any additional melt as a result of this, no. See it.
I have a YouTube question.
Go ahead.
There are several semi-tractor trailers that make deliveries and pickups on 19th east of Columbia. Will they be able to cross 19th while it is torn up?
Yeah, I mean, we'll do all we can to conveniently accommodate all the local traffic. As we'd talked about, there could be some need where you might want to come in off College, where you're only crossing, 70 feet of construction as opposed to coming in off one of the other blocks and coming down Columbia, where you're gonna run into a lot more problems, such as construction, stockpiling, and then a tight turn to get off of Columbia onto 17th, 18th, or 19th. I would definitely, if it were me, driving a truck or a bus into there, I would want to come off of College and go straight east into whichever of those cul-de-sacs you're trying to get into. I wouldn't go north-south down Columbia any more than you absolutely have to. Anything else? All right, like we said, Aaron was nice enough to bring a couple sets of plans, so we'll adjourn over to there and take any more specific questions that you guys might have for your specific areas or anywhere else. Otherwise, I think we're good for now.